Expediting Lucy here with more random stupidity, military. I joined the Army in 1986. I was enlisted as a tanker, the M1 tank I crewed. And I went to flight school in 89, but when I originally joined, I enlisted as that. And as a private in the Army, you're the bottom of the food chain, and you get sent on all the garbage details. And soon after I got to my unit in Fort Hood, Texas, we got 2nd Armored Division. Our unit was tasked with what is known as division duty, which means you are slave labor for the stuff that nobody wants to do for the week. And they tasked 10, 12, 14 of us enlisted guys, all E-nothings. And to be the duty for the division, they gave us a deuce and a half for a 5-ton truck, and we drove up the division, and they would send us to go pick up garbage or go deliver oil drums or just something. It was kind of busy work, but some of it needed to be done, and they used us as the slave labor to do it. And nobody liked being division duty. It was hard. It was dirty. It was long. It was hot. It's just blah. Well, one day they get us and they go to the Division ASP, which is the ammo supply point. It is a huge complex of underground bunkers that look like armored shelters for aircraft. And ammunition, not unlike milk, has a shelf life. I don't know, 15, 20 years. At some point, they consider ammunition to be unstable, and they dispose of it. And the Army's answer to disposing of anything is bury it. Dig a hole, put it in the ground, cover it up, it's gone. Somebody else's problem. That's just what they do. They've done that forever. So we go to the ASP, and they had forklifts bring out ammunition and equipment, rounds, and they load deuce and a half. So, of course, we're digging in it. We're driving. It's like 1,500 pounds of whatever, and we're all 18-year-old dummies, and we're idiots, and we're digging in and trying. If we find some grenades, we'll just start throwing them out the window. That's how your mindset is. Well, they had machine gun ammunition, but we didn't have a weapon. Tank rounds and mortar rounds. Now, mortar, I've never shot a mortar, but there's something in it they call a cheese charge. It goes, you have to physically put it in. It looks like candy, and without that, it doesn't go boom. So the mortar rounds are useless. The machine gun rounds, we don't have a machine gun, and a bunch of tank rounds. And a little interesting piece of information: a tank round does not have a firing pin. It doesn't go clink and fire it. It has a flat plate, and it's an electrical charge that activates it. And every once in a million years, somebody will sneak on a military base and steal a tank round, a live tank round, and they'll take it home and set it on their carpet. And then Mr. Static Electricity comes along, and we find out who stole the tank round. So if you get a chance to steal a tank round, don't. Because that stuff's, don't. Anyway. Now, Fort Hood, if I remember correctly, was classified as the largest military base in the Western world. It goes on forever. It is gigantic. And as a matter of fact, in 1987, they said the 7th biggest military power in the world was the state of Texas. That's how much firepower they have down there. But in the middle of Fort Hood, they have these firing ranges, and if you look at it from above, it looks like a giant wagon wheel. You have the permanent dud zone in the middle, which is a mountain, and then these ranges that go around like the spokes of the wagon wheel all the way around. And you pull the top of the range, look at the dud mountain, it's 4 or 5 miles away, and these ranges are just huge, and they go around in a big circle. And they give us a map, and they say go to range, fill in the blank with all this stuff, and they have dug, the engineers have gone down there in a valley, in a little ditch, and they've dug a hole, and they say just place all this ammunition, miles down here, and then the engineers will come back later with a bulldozer and bury it. That's, again, they answer everything, put it in a hole. So we drive down, and we get to the ditch, and we're throwing this stuff in the crates. We're just, because we're not that smart. Now, on every army post on the planet, there's 2 things you can find, guaranteed. Concertina wire, just random, and what's it called, WD1 wire? It's the phone lines they used to use. I don't know if they even use it anymore, but it's called W1 or WD1. It's everything. So you string it from here to there, and you get ready to leave. You just disconnect your phone and walk off, and you just leave it. So you can find it. So we've thrown all this ammunition in this hole. The crates are broken out. There's this mountain. There's 1,000, 1,200 pounds of explosives and stuff in this hole. And this one idiot in the crowd, this one moron in the crowd goes, "Hey, I've got an idea. Let's set this stuff off. Nobody will ever know." What do we need? WD1, what that stuff is called, WD1 wire. So we start running around in the bushes, and sure enough, we find wire, and we start splicing it together. We end up with about 150 yards of wire. Go down in the ditch with the rounds, tape, because we had tape in the glove box, this deuce snap electrical tape the wires to the back, and then we run it up to the truck, which is pointed towards it, and we're going to touch the batteries, and we're going to stand there and watch the boom, you know, because we're 18, we're in the military, and we know what we're doing. So they open the hood, they put the stick to hold the hood open, and this redheaded kid, I remember his name, he bent down and he said, okay, I'm going to do it. 3, 2, 1. When I woke up, I was behind the truck, rolled up in a ball, covered in some kind of white soot. I could hear nothing because my ears were ringing, and there were other guys in various states of disrepair rolled up in balls around me. And I'm laying on my back looking up at the sky, and I am underneath the mushroom cloud at Hiroshima as it goes up. Looking up at the rolling cloud going, oh, that's not a good idea. And everybody's yelling, but nobody can hear. And I got up, and then ammunition rounds and machine gun rounds started raining out of the sky on top of us. The hood of the truck, it was like this. The blast shoved him in there, popped the lid, and slammed shut. So he just had his two little feet sticking out like this, and he was squirting around. So we all disconnect the wire, and we jump in the truck, and we turn around because we're going to get away, because nobody will ever know what we did. And we're driving up range in this deuce nav. If anybody's been in a deuce nav knows that's slow motion. And we're running, and looking back, is the cloud still there? Yep. And we hit the top of the range, and we take off, and we're, you know, make time distance, because no one's gonna ever figure out it was us. We make time and distance, and, you know, we're miles away from looking back, and there's this big black haze hanging over the valley down there. And we drove back and parked the truck. We were done for duty. That was it. We just stood around and waiting for the other, you know, the shoe to drop it. And nothing ever happened. Nothing ever came of it. But it just, you know, that's when you don't cut 18-year-olds loose, unattended, without adult supervision. But that was one of my earliest memories of something really stupid we did in the military. Oh, and I got more. Jeez, I got more. All right, this is Expediting with Lucy. I'm out.